Hey everyone, RandomAlex here. Today is September 4th, 2023, and that means that Sup Dawg News is officially 10 years old. In reality, it's a little bit older than that, but I'll get into that. I wanted to make a little bit more special of a video. I was actually planning on making a documentary, and shout out to Chaz Warson and Alexa Morse, who agreed to be a part of that documentary for some interviews and other things. I did not forget about you. I just procrastinated, and it is now September 2nd, and I need to get something made. So, in the future, I would like to actually make the full, not feature length, but maybe around 40-ish minute documentary on Sup Dawg News. In reality, it's a 3-minute video, and there's not that much to talk about, but I think it'd be fun to take it way too into depth. But hopefully, today I will somewhat satisfy the nostalgia itch to learn about Sup Dawg News. I'm going to do a little commentary track, tell you about some behind the scenes. I might show some of that old footage that I found, but I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of freestyling this one. So let's head on over to YouTube. Videos. Some good videos here. Also some kind of bad ones, but mostly good ones. That's a bad one. That's kind of a classic at this point. Classic. These are obviously great. My most viewed video there. I've kind of talked about all this before in my 50 subscribers to special. Yes. So let's look at Sup Dawg News here. Before we start that, I do want to go and check out this. As you can see, September 4th, 2013. I actually was starting this video just a little bit ago and got to this point and had been saying September 3rd the entire video. And then I had to restart because I was embarrassed. And I'm telling you about it now because I can't let embarrassing things go, apparently. So, something with the weather. There has been 2 murders. A school has burnt down. Yay. And taxes are really hard to pay. Will the weather eat the world like a little snack wrap? Or be overrun by zombies? Find out on Sup Dawg News. Oh yeah. Bye-bye, KCCI. Spelled B-Y-B-Y. The song here at the beginning is YouTube default, not default, but music in the YouTube editor. I found it. I was like, yeah, that's intro music. And it's called Hearts on Fire Radio Edit. We've got 20 likes and 0 dislikes, and I wasn't even one of those. That's cool. RandomAlex presents Sup Dawg News. This was a paint file that I made around the exact same time that I made my original YouTube art. I'm going to attempt to find, maybe go through the Wayback Machine and show you what my YouTube channel looked like 10 years ago when this came out. I think that'd be kind of neat. Let's take a look at the comments. 14 comments. Noah Rocks 2819, 8 years ago, says, I can't dislike it. Gloomlore, 7 years ago. You know, looking back on this, we were so young. And that was, at most 3 years after it had come out. I reply, but you weren't in this, Seth. So I didn't mean me, I meant you. Rogue Shadow says, indeed. ShinyCats5704 says, I'm not subscribing until Minecraft Part 2. It's here. You better subscribe. 8 years ago, Mizuki says, I love it. This is no more, not some creep. LOL. And then some faces. Rogue Shadow says, Zane White. Sure. So apparently that was Zane White's account. We'll talk more about all that later. Noah Rocks again says, I'm grown. Rogue Shadow says, it's Justin. Hi. Gloomlore says, XD. Gloomlore says, hello. it's me, Seth Glassner. Liza Q736 says, hi, it's Liza. And Noah Brown 3109 says, hello. We were all really good at keeping ourselves, anonymous on the internet. Like, smart 10-year-olds. Let's just get into the video. You guys don't care. So that part right there is also some stock footage that YouTube would give you in the YouTube editor. I was not enjoying my time working with the Windows Movie Maker, and so I did all of the editing on YouTube, and that was also partially because once we got a take of this that we were satisfied with, ran home, tried to upload it, and my internet was so bad that it took multiple days to upload. And at that point I was like, crap, I wanted to add something to the beginning of this, and I wasn't going to go through the pain of uploading it again, so I edited it on YouTube and added those bits, and it went okay. Local channel 8 is KCCI here in the central Iowa area. Most people that watch my content would probably already know that, but I figured that in the off event that one of you somehow doesn't, because I do remember at one point I was able to look at my analytics a little bit more in depth on the old dashboard, and I did have a couple of like European views, and that absolutely shocked me. I thought that was so cool. But those have since disappeared, and looking back, I'm a little concerned about those, but yeah. This account did actually end up being created. Jazz and I were childhood best friends. There's nothing wrong between us now. We're just not as close as we used to be. And we were really into the idea of being YouTubers. I probably pushed it onto him a little bit, but I think he was interested in the idea. He was always into, he was really into the 49ers at the time, so that was where he got his thing from. And I don't know why, I always had a concept of this needs to be branded, and I think it was because, I would see like Smosh and Smosh Second Channel, Smosh Games, and then, everything that had offshoots was that. I mean, I have RandomAlex Games, which has, I think, one video on it, maybe? Don't quote me on that, but, so I really wanted to establish like this empire. I was almost going for like a FaZe Clan type thing, except I didn't care about gaming at the time, or I liked gaming, but not making gaming content specifically for those. I wanted like almost like a prototype hype house, except we wouldn't live together, and we were all, 10 or 11 years old. So the idea was just, random, my blank friend descriptor, or something like that. So that's where that came from. I'll explain a little bit of Chaz's more dialogue later. That, I do remember that I didn't expect this video to like do anything really. And within a couple of days of me having uploaded this, I was hearing that at school. And I know this sounds made up, and it didn't last terribly long, but I remember a couple of people saying that to me, and they were like, oh, that was so funny. And I appreciate them saying that, because it's not, and it's quite embarrassing. I was very insecure about the fact that we were making this video that I had come up with, and that fell apart. And then we went and did this, and I was originally in the space of Noah there, which you'll see in some of the behind-the-scenes alternate takes of this. But I was there, and Noah was behind the camera. And I think I just kept screwing up. I haven't really looked at the footage. I just know it exists, and I just kind of remember that. And so I was like, well, this is my YouTube channel. I want to be actually involved in its first video. So I, kind of forced character into it. But it was really, it was just me being like, I need to be involved in this. And so I, kind of pushed ego into it and did that. So, yeah. I also, when the NFT craze was a thing, I actually did mint an NFT of I own the freaking channel and made no intention to ever sell it. So I own that. Those are my words. They already were, but now I have a scam piece of technology to prove it. Let's continue. Everything comes in twos, doesn't it? It's a little weird. Alexa was always very concerned with, as I said earlier, we weren't good at revealing or at not revealing our kind of personal information. She was very, very concerned about the idea of people knowing anything about us. She didn't like the idea that we were filming at this school that could have been recognized. And so she wanted to say Mississippi and, all this stuff to throw it off. And I was a little annoyed by it at the time, but that was probably a good idea. That's pretty funny. You can see her here kind of scolding him for mentioning Des Moines because of that exact reason that I was saying, which I think is kind of funny. We made this in August. Obviously, it's old news. At the time, Minecraft 2D was what we referred to when talking about this terrible mobile game called The Blockheads. That was just Minecraft 2D. Like, it was indistinguishable, really. And he loved it, and I was, like, nothing could be better than Minecraft. And so I hated it, and we fought about it a lot, and I made him add that because I think he, in a different take that probably, I don't think I've seen it exist, but I would get upset with him for saying that Minecraft 2D was on the rise, and so we changed it to that, and that's why I'm yesing in the background. That bike right there was a bike I had purchased just a little bit ago before this, and it was far too big for me at the time. It was just an adult bike, and I still have that bike, and I just recently brought it with me to my third year of college, and within 2 days of that bike living at this place, the back wheel was stolen, and I just wanted to vent about that a little bit. I actually really love the artisticness of that. I think it is really great that we never showed Quentin as a zombie, really. We just heard him, and that the camera stays on the anchors. And as soon as Quentin gets there to kind of take the camera, you see them wake up, and then they're immediately gone from Quentin's things. And I think that's actually just really pretty good. And I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just that I was going to be away from the camera because he started zombieing at it. And then I think the idea was definitely just that Quentin took over as the cameraman. And I think part of it was going to be that they took over and did the news show as zombies then, and they were scaring us out. And I think that devolved into the final line of the show. Oh yeah, obviously. Classic. Absolute classic. It's a good video, by the way. I'm watching that one. So that's Sup Dawg News. 3 minutes and 11 seconds of... yeah, it's alright. I'm gonna find some of that extra footage. I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm gonna end the video there for today. I was going through some of the footage and I had it ready to show to you, but there's just so much of it, and I find it so interesting that I truly do want to make that documentary. I hope that you'll all enjoy it. I hope that it doesn't embarrass the people in it a little too much, but also I think that I'm probably the most embarrassable by it, just from, as I was saying earlier, you know, the whole on the freaking channel origins. That there's some cringier stuff in it that so yeah. Happy birthday, Sup Dawg News, and I'll see you later. Thank you for 10 years.